Hi ladies, it's me again, trying to get it so there's not a big blob of sunlight on my face. It's Sunday. Uh, thank heavens. Practice went well this morning with the kids, and I even got to spend about 20 minutes on the phone with Angela, so I'm pretty excited. She sounds really good. We're going to go through Esther, and it's the second part of Esther. And I did want to kind of cover and review a few things before we go into this. Mordecai's great-grandfather, his name was Kish, and he had been exiled from Jerusalem into the land of Persia, along with Iehoiachin. Good luck with that. His captivity is one of several captivities named by historians. And so between 740 to 741 BC, Mordecai's ancestors were exiled in Persia. 720 BC, 10 tribes were carried away by the king of Assyria. 605 BC, the tribes of Judah were overthrown by the rulers of Babylon. 598 to 597 BC, Jehoiakim and other nobles were taken away. And in 582 BC, Zedekiah led away and Jerusalem laid to waste. So it was a long season of being led into captivity. We talked a little bit about Mordecai being in the gate when Esther was in the process of becoming prepared to see if she would be the next queen, and he would check on her, and it's there that he finds out an assassination plot and he passes it along to Esther. Now in those days, a king would give extravagant rewards for those who were loyal or who served well, and we don't know, maybe Mordecai was a little disappointed. We're not told because there was no reward at this point for him having thwarted that assassination. But God always uses an event in his sovereignty to bring about the fulfillment of his plan and to protect his people. So it's many years later, after all this takes place, that King Xerxes or Ahasuerus is killed in an assassination plot. So one day he will be assassinated. But for now, God is going to protect him, and Mordecai provides the information to him to protect him. I want to talk a little bit about God's rewards for us in heaven. We're told that there will be a crown of life, James 1:12 and Revelation 2:10, a crown of righteousness, 2 Timothy 4:8, an imperishable crown, 1 Corinthians 9:25, a crown of rejoicing, 1 Thessalonians 2:19, and a crown of glory, 1 Peter 5:2-4. So just like Mordecai, we may deserve credit, appreciation, or reward for something we've done or accomplished, but we shouldn't get caught up in that, whether we're ever publicly acknowledged about the efforts that we've put toward completing a project and others. Or maybe our boss takes credit if we're working for completing a project, or others as well. And don't get caught up in it. Don't worry about who gets the credit. God knows everything we do. Even if we don't get credit now in our lifetime, God generously does reward his servants in heaven. So those are some of the rewards. Will be these crowns that we'll get to wear in heaven. I hope mine's not too heavy, but we'll see. Haman's plan. So King Ahasuerus in Esther 3:1-15, we talked about Haman, his pride being stung by Mordecai's disrespect, and because this one Jew failed to and refused to bow to him. And we also talked about the fact that this is a long-standing feud over 600 years ago. Before Esther, Saul was supposed to have taken care of the problem and killed King Agag of the Amalekites, and he didn't. And that Haman is a descendant of, he's called an Agagite. Um, the other thing I didn't cover, and I should have maybe, about Haman, is that he sought advice from astrologers and magicians about when he should kill the Jews. And to get an answer, they cast a lot called a pur, P-U-R, and it's a Persian word, and the pur indicates that his diabolical plan should take place 1 year later. So, of course, God's provision of a year before the slaughter of the Jews enables the Jews to take action against the plot. And I want you to remember that there's no such thing as coincidence in God's kingdom. God is sovereignly behind the scenes, even though his name is not mentioned in the book of Esther. He is behind the scenes working things out for his people. King Xerxes doesn't care that a whole group of his subjects are to be murdered, unlike our God and our King Jesus, who is very concerned about us and even concerned about every sparrow that falls. God is fully aware. Haman sweetness the request by offering to pay 10,000 silver talents, 750,000 pounds to the king's treasury for the work to be done. That's a lot of money. It's equivalent to several tens of millions of dollars today. The historian Herodotus notes that in Darius I, King Ahasuerus' father, received almost 15,000 talents of silver in an entire year in revenue. And certainly Haman didn't actually own that much money, but planned to take it from the slain Jews. The king, without verifying the information or being concerned about the accuracy, trusts Haman, and Haman is given permission to issue an edict in the king's name using the king's official seal on his signet ring. And the letters are sent telling the people that they can destroy the Jews on the 13th day of the month of Adar, 12 months later. And so this would have translated to March 7th, 473 BC.